going to show you how to make pancakes, potato pancakes, in a total of about 5 minutes, not including cooking time. That'll be another 5 minutes. But the potato pancakes are going to be absolutely delicious, and I'm going to show you what to do. But first, we're going to look at the ingredients. You're going to need, I told you always have all your ingredients handy. So here is my basic plate of ingredients. But the most important thing is, guess what for potato pancakes? Ta-da! Potatoes, see? Now, we're going to put on the potatoes after they cook a little black pepper, maybe before they cook a little garlic, and celery or celery salt, okay? So those are our main ingredients before and during, right after cooking. Okay, but on top of the potato pancakes, you don't put jelly. I guess you could, but we're going to put applesauce. And here in Switzerland, where everything is very expensive, this applesauce was under €1, under 1 Swiss franc. So applesauce is really a bargain. You don't have to make your own. Okay, now, the reason, this video is not for the 3 to 6 year old crowd. This, you have to be at least 6 years old. And so this is for 6-year-old to teenagers, 6 to, let's say, 12 or 14. Why? Why is it that? Because as usual, I don't want you little guys playing with knives, cutting off your fingers, stuff like that. So we're not going to use any knives in this, but you are going to use a grater. See, a grater. Now there's different kinds of graters, but it's real easy when you use a grater to cut your fingers. You got to keep your fingers away from the grater, and when it gets near the end, have your mom and dad do the final grating, or else just abandon the potato at that point. And now, for those of you who want to become a gourmet chef, gourmet, that's, high-class stuff, I'm going to tell you an important difference between potato pancakes and hash browns. Now you'll notice on the grater, there's a very fine grater, see? Boom, boom, boom. And it makes little tiny pieces. Okay, but if you don't have time and you're in a big hurry like me to make 5 minutes, you use the bigger one, and that gives you bigger pieces. They taste about the same, but they call the potato pancake made with the bigger pieces hash browns, okay? All right, now the last ingredient that you're going to have, and you're going to put this right in with the mix, is cut up onions in very tiny pieces. Now, once again, because I don't want you guys, well, if you're over 12, you can use a knife. But if you're under, let's say, 12, here's what you do. See, these are already ground up onions, so you just throw these in. You don't have to cut them. Now, there's one other thing you do way before you start cooking, and I'm going to do that right now. So when we're back at the table, which we are now, that's when you're going to, you clean hands, no eyes in the potato, and you're going to take your grater and you're going to grate. Ooh, okay. Look, see how quick that is? Very quick. Now, I'm not going to make you wait while I grate this whole potato. While I was grinding this potato. Now, you'll notice, first of all, I didn't take the peel off, because I read somewhere once, a long time ago, that the peels were very healthy, see? So here I've made a whole bunch of potato. Now, one big potato is enough for 2 people, but, depends how many you're making it for. Okay, end up with a nice, here's how you get the potato off the grinder. You kind of can scrape it with the potato. All right, now, this is a little messy, but it doesn't matter. Okay, now, for you older kids, this is the, for those who know how to handle a knife. I don't want you young ones under 10 years old doing this, but if you're over 10, Watch this. See, if you're under 10, use these this kind of potato already cut up for you. But if you're over, oh, yeah, it'd be pretty funny if I cut my finger off, wouldn't it? Well, I'm not going to cut my finger off. Oh, Boy Scout rule. You ever heard of that? Boy Scout rule is always cut away from you. In other words, you don't have your fingers underneath the knife, but far away. Now, I'm cutting up these onions, and that's called dicing. You have to be a master chef to know how to do that. Wow. So these onions are going to be very small little pieces so you don't bite on a whole onion. And when I'm done with that, I'm going to mix it with my not mashed potatoes, but my grated potatoes. And we're going to have, the main ingredient is potatoes and onions. Actually, I have a little bit too much onions here. The onion should be about 20%, and here it's closer to half. But anyway, you never know what you're going to get with me. When I make stuff, I never know myself. Everything I've ever made is always different from everything I've ever made before. So I'm kind of mixing this up with my fingers, and then I'm gonna kind of put it in a bowl. And after I have made a nice shape, like a potato pancake, here we go. Watch this. Oh, I could have put a little flour in to hold it together, but what I'm gonna do is just mix it up with my fingers. Yeah, and put it in a bowl here. I make it a little bit messy, but what the heck? Life is messy too. All right, here's a bowl, right? Empty. Watch. Now watch this. Ooh, boy. See, I kind of mix it while I'm putting it in the bowl. I'm mixing it. And this whole process is taking under 5 minutes, excluding the cooking, okay? So here we go. We're going to go back to the stove and at the stove, because if you're going to cook anything, you almost always need to cook it. See, and cooking is like in the frying pan. I'm heating up the butter a little bit. I always like to use butter, but you can use peanut oil, you can use anything. Now remember, I said we're in Italy. And in Italy, guess what butter is called? Burro. That is not a donkey. That is Italian for butter. Now, one of the other things I noticed about languages is that the languages to describe potato pancake, well, in Polish, which is the land of my ancestors, they call it latke, L-A-T-K-E. That's potato pancake in Polish. But in German, they call it Kartoffel Pfannkuchen. Kartoffel means potato, and Pfannkuchen means pancake, or cooked in a pan. So it's almost exactly right. But the French, oh boy, do they do it in a crazy way. We get the French, they say frites de pomme de terre. And you translate that, you wouldn't even know what the hell they mean. Heck, I shouldn't have said the hell. Sorry, it's a kid's video. What the heck they mean is frites, pomme de terre means fried apples of the earth. Who would ever know what that is? All right, now I've been doing a little chit-chat conversation with you to wait for my butter to get hot. So here's now how we're going to make this pancake. We're going to make a little pancake shape, put it in, oops. Then we're going to do another pancake shape and put that in. Boy, I should have put a little flour in to make it bind, but what the heck. If you're a kid, nobody is going to expect perfection off you. Okay, so now I'm going to wash my hands. I told you in the last video, if you're going to use a frying pan that has Teflon on it, you have to use this kind of turner, not a... Now, actually, hey, guess what? Look, see, they're going to stick together. I don't know why, but it's going to stick together just because it's hot, I guess. So look at that. That's what I call a potato pancake, if I say so myself. And I do. And this time I hid the cover. That way it cooks in the middle. Now, remember, this is a 5-minute recipe, so I'm not going to include the cooking time, which is about another 4 minutes. So let's just, since we're coming back because we waited just 3 minutes for this to cook a little bit. I'll bet if I show it to you, it's going to be nice and brown. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Oh my God, is that something? All right. Now, because I'm such an international master chef, I know how to say things in different languages, like pepe nero, haha, Italian for black pepper. So we take it, open up the shaker side, a little bit, not a great deal, just enough to give it a little black color. Okay, now here's another one. Aglio. Well, see, in Italian you brought the G silent, so it's pronounced aglio. Guess what that is? Garlic. Now I could have chopped up fresh garlic, and if I was a real master chef, I would have, but I'm just gonna, oh my God, this garlic is somebody left the top off, and so it's all hard. Okay, here we go, a little garlic. Okay, here we go, not too much, just enough to make it taste yummy. Okay, garlic, and then here's my secret ingredient. Celery, powdered celery. You can also sometimes get it, celery salt. Oh, and look at that, celery in Italian is the same as celery in English. Wow. Hey, how about that? Well, I learned something new today. Okay, a little celery salt. Okay. Oh, and then when I was in the store today, I wanted to buy some salt. And guess what they had? Himalayan pink salt. I don't think it tastes any different, but it kind of looks cute. So we'll put a little salt. Oh God, I put a little too much on. Okay, now I put pink Himalayan salt. Now this is ciboulette. Guess what that is? Chives. And we bought that in France. And I don't know what chives are in Italian, but ciboulette is chives in French. Okay, so now we're going to turn this over. Should be nice and brown on the other side, if we're lucky. Uh-oh, it isn't very brown. Guess why? Because I turned the stove on a little bit too low. Oh, it's not as brown as I'd like it. Okay, we're just gonna turn it up. I'm gonna put the ciboulette on it, put a cover on it, and come back in about 2 minutes when it's more cooked. So we're coming back to our finished product. Now let's hope I didn't burn it. Let's see. Oh, by the way, I just combined it. Instead of 2 potato pancakes, I made 1. And let's see if it's burned. Okay. The trick is not to burn stuff. Just to make it nice and brown. Whoop. I broke it. Oh, it isn't too burned. I mean, a little bit burned, but look at that. A little bit burned, but not enough to make it a total flop. Okay, here we go. Whoop. Okay, well, ideally, to be honest with you kids, 1, I should have made my onions a lot smaller. Okay, these onions were a little bit too big, but my guess is this is going to taste fabulously good. So it's so good that I'm going to take the big one for myself and give the small portion to my honey. And now, this is called the coup de grace. That's the finishing touch in French. Coup de grace, the coup de grace. You take the applesauce, measure very carefully like I always do. I'm only kidding. I never measure. And now, this is like a vegetarian lunch because, applesauce is good. Now we're going to take this. Come on, follow me. Now follow me over to the kitchen table where we're going to have a wonderful lunch of, here's for you, darling, and here's for me. And all we need is a fork. Old saying among master chefs like me. I'm only kidding. I'm not really a master chef. In fact, I really screwed up on these potatoes. But the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Now, this isn't pudding. This is a potato pancake. But the proof of the pudding in the eating means if it tastes good, you had a success. And if it tastes bad, you haven't. So let's check the proof of the pudding. Oh my God. Woo! This is a potato pancake.